Hello everyone, welcome to your Chapter 3 lecture. Chapter 3 is adjusting entries. And adjusting entries are typically done at the end of every month or at the very bare minimum at the end of every year. Adjusting entries are for adjusting those accounts that will change based on the fact that time has passed. Don't worry, we'll get into some examples. First, let's start off with the accounting cycle. Let's look at it like the cycle it is. Starting with Chapter 2, we had transaction documents. Transaction documents were things like bills you received in the mail or invoices you sent because you provided a service and were sending a bill to someone to get paid, or your utilities bill came in the mail, something along those lines, right? Those are transaction documents. And when you got those documents or you sent those documents out, they inspired you to prepare a journal entry, right? Because you either had to record a bill or pay a bill or record revenue or record an expense or pay a dividend, things like that, right? So usually there was some sort of external transaction that happened here that then caused you to prepare a journal entry. And from those journal entries, we posted to ledgers, and from there we prepared a trial balance. This is really an unadjusted trial balance at this point. All right, so up to through here was really Chapter 2. Now we're moving forward into Chapter 3. After the month has passed, you've done all the work you've done throughout the month, all the, buying, selling, and providing of services. You are sitting at the trial balance point, and now it's time to prepare adjustments or adjusting journal entries. As I said before, adjustments are really related to accounts that need adjustment based on the fact that time has passed. Maybe you've earned something because time has passed. Maybe you actually owe something because time has passed. And don't worry, we've got plenty of examples coming. But just to finish the accounting cycle here. So right here we cut off with Chapter 2. Adjustments is Chapter 3. We are going to, after we prepare the adjustments and we prepare them as journal entries, we post to ledgers again because we need to update the account balances for the adjustments. Then we prepare an adjusted trial balance, right? This is, like I said, this is technically an unadjusted trial balance at this point. So we prepare an adjusted trial balance, and then from there we go to financial statements. So really we cut off right here with Chapter 3. Financial statements comes into play with Chapter 4. After financial statements, we talk about how to close out the books, do closing journal entries, and then guess what? We start the process all over again. Okay, and that's why it's an accounting cycle, because this is the cycle we go through. When we close the books, we then start the next year. All right, so these two right here are really going to be Chapter 4 for us. All right, what we follow is something called the accrual basis of accounting. And what the accrual basis of accounting says is we record revenues when they're earned, and we record expenses when they're incurred. And what that means is we don't really care so much about when cash is received or when cash is paid, right? Cash being received with revenues, cash being paid with expenses. We don't care about that so much. It more matters when we earn it, right? So let's say I do a job and I earn the money doing that job. I'm going to record that revenue, even if I don't get paid until the following month, because I record it when I earn it. All right, and like I said, we'll get into some examples here. The accrual basis of accounting, though, is what we follow in GAAP. Cash basis of accounting might be something that you're more used to hearing about. Cash is, we take those revenues and expenses, and we record revenues when we receive the cash, and we record expenses when the cash is paid. But this is not GAAP, all right? This is not generally accepted accounting principles. Cash basis of accounting is not the way we prepare financial statements. There you go, not GAAP. The matching principle. This is an important concept. The idea of the matching principle says expenses should be matched to the related revenues. All right, so the idea is it doesn't really matter when cash is paid or when cash is received. It really is about when you earn the money, right? Well, no, when you earn the money. When you earn the revenue, we record expenses to match that revenue. All right, so if we had to pay wages of an employee to earn that revenue, then we need to record those expenses. If we used utilities during the month, but we don't get the utility bill till the following month, we're going to record the utilities in the month that we incurred the expense. And don't worry, we'll get into lots of examples. Here's just kind of a basic cash versus accrual example here. Assume they're filling out a loan application. The application asks you to commit for your committed total monthly expenses for housing, transportation, insurance, and debt repayment. Okay, after reviewing your checkbook, you compile the following list. All right, so pause it for a second. Pause me. And try to figure this out on your own before I go on. Go ahead, pause. All right, you're back. All right, here we go. We've got rent $375, utilities $110 each month, equal billing means you get the same bill every month all year long. Car payment $200, car insurance $480 over 6 months, life insurance $120 once a year. So if a bank were to ask you what your monthly expenses are, right? You'd have rent $375, utilities $110, those don't change. Your car payment $200, but the car insurance you'd record wouldn't be $480. It'd really be $80, right? Because it's $480 every 6 months. That right there, that's accrual basis. Because what we're doing is, even though the cash goes out of our hands, $480 all at once, that expense covers a 6-month period. So we chop it up into those 6-month bits. That's $80. Same thing happens with life insurance. If it's $120 for the whole year, it's really $10 a month, right? So life insurance would be my $10. That's what I would reflect on my loan application. So my total expenses would be $775. Makes sense, right? That's accrual basis, right? We don't care when the cash is paid. We care what periods it matches to. These are expenses of the periods, right? Okay, so let's just pretend, right? So there we go, accrual basis. Let's pretend, what if we use cash basis? What would this look like if we use cash basis? So we have the same criteria here, categories. We would have rent, utilities, car payment, but if we're doing cash basis, we would record the $480 that went out, and we'd record the $120 that went out. So our expenses would look like they were $1,285, kind of high. Which, let's look at month 2 before we discuss it. We have rent, we have utilities, we have car payment, we have no car insurance, we have no life insurance because we paid them already. So it would look like our expenses were $685. That's not great. You look like you have big expenses, low expenses. That's no way to run a business, right? That's no way to look at your financials with these big highs, big lows. And that's certainly not what the bank wants to see, right? If you're applying for a loan here, they want to see the nice, even, regular budgeted loan amounts, expense amounts. So, as I said, expenses would appear to fluctuate wildly from month to month, which is not what your lenders want to see or anybody else. Okay, we don't like cash basis. All right, another real quick example. Go ahead, take a minute and read it. Pause me. All right, here we come back. Welcome back. The job took 1 full week. You're doing a job for a fee of $1,200. You've got decorative stones, $400. They're purchased on account. They're going to be paid for the next month. All right, so this is, we're doing this during May here. Cement, we've got 2 $10 bags of cement. We've got wages to assistants. They're paid at the end of the week. And we have about $600 per month on rent, and this job took 1 week to do. So if we're thinking about the matching concept, again, matching the expenses against the revenue, we would have the revenue would be $1,200, and the expenses that go against that revenue would be the decorative stones. It doesn't matter that I'm going to pay them in June. I incurred the costs in May on this job, so I'm going to record them in May. All right. Cement, 2 bags. We paid for them in April. It's May. Right? Wouldn't those have gone against April? No, they wouldn't have gone against April. They go against the revenue that you're earning, right? It's that cement was a cost of that $1,200. So you're matching the expenses against the revenue. So that $20 of cement may have been just sitting around from April, but you used them in May. They were incurred in May. The cost of using them is $20. Wages paid to assistants, $200. And $600 per month on rent. This job only took a week, so what we're going to do is we're going to spread that out. We're going to call it overhead of $150. So the total profit on the job, $430. The $1,200 minus all of these expenses. Okay, accrual basis. All right, types of adjusting entries. We'll do this, and then we'll move on to the next video. The idea is, like I said, if you don't do it at the end of every month, you're at least doing it at the end of every year. You're doing adjustments. And we're saying a year end would be a calendar year end. That's not necessarily always the case. This is a calendar year end just because it's easier for you to get your heads wrapped around right now. But a business could also have a fiscal year end, meaning they don't have to choose December 31st to be their year end. They can choose any 12-month period they want, whether that is June of one year to the end of May the next year. Any 12-month period you can use for reporting purposes. Okay, just had to get that out there. All right, So let's say that you got cash before you did anything. You haven't recorded any revenues or any expenses. When you get cash in advance of recording the revenue or expenses, that's called a deferral. All right. When you recognize the revenue or the expenses before the cash, that's called an accrual. And you're going to see that in the next bunch of examples we do. Okay, let me go back. All right, so we're going to start off on the next slide with the next round.